This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It's Friday, y'all. April 2nd. I'm Jeff here with my friends Stephanie and Brandon. Do you like was that better? I'm trying, this is like my third
The
week.
inflection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday, y'all. Can I say y'all?
Yeah.
But how do you spell y'all? Is it Y''ALL or YA''ALL?
I'm going to go YA apostrophe. I'm not, my wife's from the South. YA''ALL. That's wrong?
No, I'm Y''ALL.
Yeah, I'm the same as Brandon.
Really? Well, that's why I shouldn't say it. Because I can't
You
spell
just
it.
offended the y'all crowd.
No. I'm taking it.
Okay.
My wife's Southern. It's an excuse. It's okay. All right. Demi Lovato released a new video for her song Dancing with the Devil, which recreates the night of her 2018 drug overdose. Let's have a look.
I was dancing with the devil, out of control, almost made it to heaven.
Last month, Demi also released a documentary by the same name where she revealed she had been smoking heroin and crack with a combination of other hard drugs that night. Wow. During an interview with CBS Sunday Morning, Demi said she is now, quote, California sober, which means she still drinks and smokes marijuana. It's not an official medical term, obviously, but California sober usually means avoiding drugs except marijuana and psychedelics like LSD.
Wow.
First of all, I've never heard of California sober before. This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
I wasn't cool enough to hear
I've heard
about
it before.
either.
I've heard it before, yeah. I mean, look at California. It's surrounded by artists. You know, it's surrounded by people in the industry. So a lot of people get caught up in the heavy drugs, but it's hard to go cold sober and to get away from that drug or whatever it is that you were addicted to. I mean, we're thinking heroin and crack.
But I feel like that's a bit of an excuse. It's hard. Like any single state you're in, people around you are going to drink and do things. Like if you've got an addiction, it doesn't matter if you're in LA or New York or Alabama. You know, you're still going to be surrounded by it. You know.
But what about people who earn that title sober? They don't touch drinking, anything. That's what sober means. You are sober from drugs and alcohol. I don't know this California term, the exact word that comes to my mind is excuse. It's a cop-out, meaning you could still do something and claim that title sober. I'm not on board.
But that's why you put the California in front of it, you know, because there's different levels to recoveries. We ask, I mean, I want our people who are recovering for something on DBL, please write in. There's different levels. There's going cold turkey and being completely sober, and then there is going to something that maybe not be as strong as what it is what you're
not
addicted
sober, and you have to earn that title back. I'm not putting people down who are trying to be sober. I'm trying to lift people up who are.
Yeah,
right?
as we should. You know, my brother's over 6 years now. I'm lifting him up. He doesn't touch anything. But here's where I want to go into. Like when we talk about these artists who get off these drugs, a lot of the time their music suffers. So do you think she's kind of keeping a toe, you know, in it a little bit to be able to help her with her creativity? I don't know.
I hope that's not the case, because there are amazing writers out there and musicians that do actually compose and write the majority of the music that we hear. It's very rarely from the artists themselves.
So another excuse.
Like even look at Whitney Houston. You know, I Will Always Love You was written by Dolly Parton. You know, she didn't write that. So I think saying I need drugs and alcohol in order to remain a #1 selling artist, she's got the voice, she's got the fan base, and she's got the stage presence, of all of which she's already got all of those things. So I think saying that you need to rely on drugs in order to be in that state, I mean, I don't think that's okay. I really feel for Demi. I really feel for her, because this has been a lifelong struggle. This isn't like a day or a week or a fad. This is her life. Since she was a young girl, she suffered with bulimia. She suffered with eating disorders. She suffered with some terrible, terrible things that most people will never understand unless you've got an addictive personality.
Right.
And I just pray for her, because I just feel like she's been in this situation a few times, and like a cat has got 9 lives, she's had a lot of those lives now. So I just pray she surrounds herself with the right people and stays on track. She did so well.
Yeah.
A few years ago, when she did a YouTube documentary, she had everything under control. She was working out. She had a lot of good people around her. I don't know, I just worry.
She's talking about it, we're talking about it. We just hope she stays safe. All right, some celebrities got into the April Fool's Day spirit yesterday, but did some of the pranks go too far? First, no surprise here, Michael Strahan, that's your boy, Belun, revealed that his new smile without his famous gap was all a prank. I'm happy to hear that. He went on Instagram to reveal that his gap is here to stay. Although he liked his no gap smile, he said that his mama likes his natural look. So do I. And what do you think? Do you prefer Michael with or without the gap?
I'm upset about this because this wasn't April Fool's. He put this out on March the 31st. So technically it's not an April Fool's. And I tweeted out this whole heartfelt response like, hey, big bro, you should have kept it, because how many people's lives you were affected to tell them to go on with whatever thing they've got going on with themselves, only to find out that it was it was a prank.
But
so.
that should be good news that he didn't go with the thing. He left the gap.
Oh yeah, I mean if you think about it, yeah. Hey, good job, Strahan.
In hindsight, yeah, he did a good thing.
that
Do you
boy
like
good.
that he didn't change it?
No, I like the gap. I like when people have like those little quirky little
unique
things that they
feature.
don't change, like Matthew McConaughey and his nose. Like people always say you should change. I love his nose. Or like this with like the gap in the teeth. I think it gives people a bit of individuality.
And you wearing black. You wear black
He got
all
you on that
the
one.
time,
You do like
Stephanie.
black.
What's wrong with wearing black?
I'm just saying there are other colors on the color wheel.
It is Easter, maybe
I
more
wore
pastel.
all pink yesterday.
April
I wore all
Fools.
red on Monday.
April Fools.
Oh, please.
Oh, Brandon's questioning your fashion sense.
We have Fashion Fix Friday coming up today, so
Who's running it? There
all
you go.
black.
All right, let's get this last story. Next, former Bachelorette Caitlin Bristow had some fun at her boyfriend's expense. She sent him a nude picture of herself, then asked dozens of her family and friends to text him and say there was something on his Instagram stories that he might want to take down, making him think that he accidentally posted it for real for the world to see. So let's check out how he reacted.
Jason.
What's on there?
April Fools!
You are the worst.
Listen, scary, but that was clever and funny. But you don't want to trick somebody like that.
Yeah, because you never want to be the leaker of the nudes. Like you never want that stigma to go.
He
with you
knows
for the
what would
rest.
come of him if
absolutely.
he did that. Like that might have been the end of his relationship.
Yeah.
Well, also, you don't know. Some people, if they're like, you've tricked me, okay, I'll post it because enough people are saying they've seen it.
Oh,
That would
wow.
backfire.
You wanted to reverse it?
That would backfire real fast.
That was a good one. I never mock clever, and that was clever. So there you go.
Say clever.
Finally, Tori Spelling is getting slammed. This one not so clever on her social media after she posted a pic on Instagram. Here she is holding her belly with the caption number 6. Some people congratulate her on her impending 6th child, but get this. She was playing an April Fool's joke.
That's one thing you do not play with.
Man.
Because of all the people out there who suffer with infertility.
Yeah.
I mean, just think, last year, this time, Haley Baldwin, Justin Bieber, your boy.
I was going to bring it up.
Yeah.
I was going to put him out there.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
And like DJ Quick said that he was shot on the way to the hospital. Like, come on now, with all these mass shootings going on.
Yeah,
in the
there's a
world.
difference between clever and just like
Lazy.
Insensitive.
insensitive. I guess
rude.
all of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like, listen, this culture that we're living in, I say it all the time, this woke culture, April Fool's Day, man, I'm not fooling around with anymore.
No.
I don't want to tote that line and be like, I was just kidding, and then really have something insensitive come out like a pregnancy and then everybody not like you for no reason at all but an April Fool's Day prank, right?
No, I agree. And like you said, with that, there's certain lines you just don't cross. So many men, women have suffered miscarriages. They're trying desperately for a child. It's just not even funny.
Do you think she knew, I'm going to just play devil's advocate here. Do you think she knew and did it for some attention? Bieber just did this last year and got slammed. You don't think she saw that?
I think anyone with no offense, 2 brain cells to rub together wouldn't do that.
No, I think some people just don't care though. Some people don't care. Like it's
Some people want to just be in the news.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I mean, if you go into those lows, I mean, what kind of news are you going to be putting out? Not news that I want to read. Trash.
You guys don't think that like ran through her mind? You don't think people put
I think
certain
that's
things
desperate.
out just to get in the news
That's
to get some attention?
Oh,
That's the lowest of the low.
All right, I'm not saying she did, but listen, they do. People put things out there
Yeah,
just to
clout
get
chasing.
attention.
You call
They
it
do.
clout chasing. That's the lay terms for it.
There you go.
You know,
Clout chasing.
Clout
That sound more
chasing.
business-like. I wish I had a tie. Coming up on DBL, I'm catching up with actor Corbin Bernsen from his hit show LA Law to working with a screen legend. He's telling us all about it in Chatting with the Stars. Super cool guy. And who's the famous celeb who pampered her pooch with a $5,000 handbag? I don't like it already. Stephanie tells us what up or next in Fashion Fix Friday.
Closed captioning provided by
For a lot of people still waiting for a stimulus check, they should be in the mail soon. But that's not true for everyone. Let's connect the dots. people who get Social Security and other federal benefits but don't normally file a tax return should start having their stimulus payments processed this weekend. The IRS says the majority of those payments will be sent electronically and should be received by April 7th. This is welcome news because many people on Social Security haven't received their individual $1,400 payments. So why were the checks held up? The short answer is red tape. The long answer is the Social Security Act doesn't allow the agency to use money for administrative work not connected to its main mission. So they couldn't get the IRS the information it needed to send out checks. But thanks to some legal wrangling, that's been worked out. One group left out of this good news, VA beneficiaries. The IRS says it's continuing to review data it has on people who get veterans benefits but don't file a tax return. The IRS does expect to come up with a payment date soon, hopefully around mid-April.
Welcome back to DBL. I'm Stephanie Jones, your resident fashionista, with this week's top style stories, like which actress is looking lovely in lace for her pregnancy announcement, and it made me say, what the fashion? Another Paris pet has got seriously pampered. It's Fashion Fix Friday. But first, no style expense was spared at the NAACP Awards telecast. So let's cut to the chase because singer Janelle Monáe looked incredible in a black and white cutout gown from Christian Siriano, accessorized with chunky gold jewelry, and Regina King looked like royalty wearing a custom Oscar de la Renta gown. The actress's copper-colored dress featured a regal cape and train, truly putting the king in Regina King. Finally, last but never least, Angela Bassett reminded everyone why she's legend status. I feel like it bears repeating that Miss Bassett is 62 years old, but her Graham Kerr's black gown paired with a gold breastplate is timeless. Next, a big congratulations to Kirsten Dunst. The actress is one of 3 cover stars on W Magazine's directorial issue, where she announced her second pregnancy. Inspiration from the photo shoot came from the 1980s love for over-the-top glamour, and she wore a dreamy white lacy dress to match the setting. And I can't help but see comparisons to her 2006 rot, Let Them Eat Cake and prenatal vitamins. We're wrapping up with a style story that made me say, what the fashion? And you can thank Paris Hilton for this moment of fashion foolery. So the star shopped until she dropped, but it was her puppy who got pampered. The tiny chihuahua named Diamond Baby is now the owner of a luxury Birkin handbag with 5,500 dog bones, dollars. I guess high-end fashion has really gone to the dogs. That's it for this week's Fashion Fix Friday. Daily Blast Live will be back right after this.
It is now looking like the UK variant of COVID-19 is the predominant strain in many parts of the US. So what does that mean? Let's connect the dots. The CDC now says that the UK variant accounts for 26% of COVID-19 cases in the US. The variant, which was first discovered in the United Kingdom in September, did not appear in the US until the very end of December. Now it is the predominant strain in at least 5 regions, with Florida having the most confirmed cases. This new data is not exactly shocking for health officials. The UK variant is believed to be much more contagious than the original virus, with some estimating it is 50 to 90% more transmissible. Now, research in the British Medical Journal has found the UK variant comes with a greater risk of death, something researchers had suspected but were waiting on the data. Now, U.S. health officials are in a race between vaccines and this variant. If we can get herd immunity against coronavirus, it can slow the spread of the UK variant, even if it is more contagious and potentially more deadly. Some experts are now predicting that could happen by summertime.
Welcome back to DBL. Corbin Bernsen got his big break on LA Law 35 years ago. Now he's starring in a new movie with the late Cloris Leachman. I spoke with him earlier in today's Chatting with the Stars. Corbin, thank you so much for joining us here on DBL. Now, it's been 35 years since the debut of LA Law, and so many stars were on that show. Susan Day, Harry Hamlin, Blair Underwood, Jimmy Smits. How did that show and experience overall change your life?
Well, it gave me a career. It gave me a life. Every actor wants that one gig that is the launch pad. And I think it certainly was for me. And the unique thing about LA Law was that it was for so many of us. It was, it was the launch pad, man. It was a rocket.
Yeah, so your character, Arnie Becker, he was a bit of a womanizer, Corbin, on that show.
Don't tell me that under that lawyerly suit, you're really a romantic.
Well, if by that you mean I believe every woman has one special light in her eye that can only be seen by one special man, then I'm guilty as charged.
Do you see that character coming alive again on screen in today's day and age?
Well, I think I can say this because it was announced in Deadline. They are working on putting together a new LA Law. I'm not sure what my part in it will be or any of that, but there is something out there. But it does make me think about my character in today's time. He certainly was a womanizer, but I think it'd be interesting to see how he has to reconcile his past and how he lives today.
And Corbin, I got to touch on your mother, the late Jean Cooper. She was a television icon herself. She played your mom on LA Law, which was so cool, but was best known for playing Catherine Chancellor on The Young and the Restless, of course.
You're like a glacier. Yes, like the dinosaur I am. You deal with it.
What was the best advice she gave you about acting or just in general?
The best thing she ever gave me was the very, very first thing when I said, I want to be an actor. She said, well, if you got my blessing, but you don't have it if you're going to do it for the money or the women or the fame or all these other things. You got to do it. I'm an actor, she said. I'm an actor. I've studied. And if you want to go into my job, my field, you've got to study and train. And you'll figure out why later. But you've got to do that. Don't do it for all the wrong reasons.
That is great advice. And speaking of icons, you worked with another icon, the late Cloris Leachman, on your TV movie called When We Last Spoke.
This is the most ill-stocked kitchen I've ever seen. I never get a meal on the table.
What was she like on set, Corbin?
Yeah, she was wonderful. She reminded me of my mother. She's one of those actors who, certainly at that point in her life, you wind her up and you put her in a direction, you give her some semblance of a script, and you just say, go, because whatever's going to come out is going to be fascinating.
That's amazing. And Melissa Gilbert plays your wife in the film. And I heard you guys never worked together despite your long careers in television. What was that experience like finally getting to work together?
She was magic. She was wonderful. It's one of those this entire movie, and including her specifically, you don't know when they're going to happen, and you just slip into it. It just falls. Everything falls in place. Everything works, and there's no forcing anything into any corner, trying to make it work, and trying to manipulate it this way or that. And she and I slipped into it's a shame because I often thought, well, I could do this for 8 years of the series with her.
That would be amazing, right? Corbin, man, I appreciate it.
Well, I'll give you some tips on skiing next time you're in Denver.
You got it, man. Anytime you want. Thank you so much, Corbin. And you can catch...
Stay off the ice.
That's right. That's right. You can catch Corbin Bernsen in When We Last Spoke this Sunday on Up TV. Corbin, it was a real pleasure, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back, everybody.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Folks are talking about the process for tweaking COVID vaccines to target those variants, wondering if companies could just roll out adjusted vaccines whenever they're ready, or if there would be more hoops to jump through. So we're asking, can companies adjust their vaccines to target COVID-19 variants without approval? Our sources are the FDA, South Carolina's Senior Deputy for Public Health, Nick Davidson, and infectious disease specialist with Atrium Health, Dr. Katie Passaretti. So how would debuting an adjusted vaccine work?
It's not like immediately flipping a switch.
In February, the FDA released updated guidance on this topic, saying that companies would have to request an amendment to their initial emergency use authorization. They'd have to provide data on how well the modified vaccine works and show there's an actual need for it. Companies would also have to show the manufacturing is similar to the original vaccine, and if it's not, explain why. So yes, there's a bit of a process in adjusting the vaccines, and it doesn't stop there with the approval.
You know, it's a combination of science takes a little while and, making sure that the changes are safe and they're only really to kind of strain content.
It will be time consuming to ramp up the production of any alterations in a vaccine.
So we can verify, no, companies can't just change their vaccines to better target the variants without getting FDA approval. It is important to note, though, doctors say that our current vaccines are still safe and effective against those COVID-19 variants. With your Verify, I'm Vanessa Rufus.
Very artsy, Rob. I love it. Welcome back to DBL. A lot of people are spending more time at home. So what happens to your body when you're sitting down all day? We're chatting about it in DBL's Focus on Fitness presented by QB. Here's what experts say can happen over time if you sit too much and don't make time for exercise. First, low energy levels are attributed to sitting for too long, which can lead to increased anxiety. Second, poor posture. Sitting for too long causes more stress on your back over time. And third, you're likely burning less calories, which can lead to weight gain. That's a big one. Being active is so important, and QB has made it easy. QB is changing the way the world thinks about fitness, regardless of physical ability or age. Try their under-desk elliptical at home or call 1-800-730-3397 or visit QB.com to learn more.
You see how he switched to his infomercial voice when you do the the phone numbers?
He's really good at that. Those numbers are a lot to read.
No, you gotta infomercial that out. But I mean, pretty obvious stuff, but some people don't equate those, like sitting down is really bad for you.
But you had a stat.
Well, I don't know if this is true. Okay. I'm not a doctor, but some people are saying it's the new smoking, right? Like if you're going to equate smoking to sitting down, smoking might be actually better than sitting down all day. I'm not a doctor. I just heard that rumor somewhere. Maybe they're just trying to get people on their feet.
Intensely wrong.
I don't know,
Stephanie. It probably is.
I don't know. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I've been sitting down the entire pandemic, and I got a little uncle bod going on here. So, yeah, not a dad bod.
Not a dad bod. I do have a correction to make. So Tori Spelling might be off the hook. It hasn't been confirmed that she is actually not pregnant. Okay. So we got on her a little bit earlier in the show. She might be pregnant.
I'm hoping that she is, and she has got 5 beautiful children, so I'm hoping that number 6 is coming shortly, and that would erase all upset.
And if not, we're going to hammer her on Monday. Yeah. DBL's new every day. We'll see you guys. Have a great weekend.